Hello? All right. Oh, we got a Mr. Conversation. And I want to say, Mr. X, I sometimes talk on my phone and I dictate to it. The unfortunate thing, I'm going to have to now do manual because it got well, let me put on my light. There we go. Oh, woo. Okay, we got light now. Woo. Okay, so we have light. And I will not dictate to my phone no more. It will be hand on my phone. I don't care if it takes me 5 minutes. It can, I want to get things put out right. I don't have any guy in my life. No, I got books and you guys are my life. Hello, Empress of Evil here, and we are going to be talking about my family. Oh, I grew up with an amazing bunch of people, and I love my Uncle K and my Aunt K. Yeah, it was the two KKs. I made it funny. Okay. Anyway. Mm. Hi, I'm Empress of Evil, and we are talking about comedy. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I got to edit. Oh, man. Comedy. I can't believe I didn't do this. Let's see. See. Oh, no one's here yet. Okay, let me edit another bit. I think people aren't here quite yet. All right, that's it. That's pretty good. Okay, I hashtagged it enough. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, my family, I'm going to say, I'm surprised that in the 70s they came out with this thing. Are you tired of going to McDonald's or going to a place and finding out it's closed? Oh no, what are you going to do? Well, we have the baby. Well, they had these things called fryers, and you put lard in it. You get it boiling with oil, and you fry all your stuff. My family loved it. We had fryer things. Ooh wee, yeah. No, there wasn't fat people in my family. That one's got me. We had the fondue thing was my favorite. I was like, holy hell. We ate healthy. So I grew up learning about what to feed your body. But when I got older, I forgot how I obtained, you know, I didn't realize I actually did fast. I didn't fast for like 14 hours, but I fasted for 8. And I was skinny and I exercised and I kept, I was very lucky to have the teachers I did. My my family taught me a lot of things. So today, my comedy experience, we'll be talking about Uncle K and Kay, how they met. Queen Mary, yes, they met on the Queen Mary. No, it was a tour. So we will start that on our comedy. And here I am, Empress of Evil. Woo. I'll move over. Oh, let me get this. Hello, Empress of Evil here. How are we? Yeah. Well, my aunt and uncle Kay, who have been married for ever since the 70s. I don't know their exact date that they got married, But I do know where they met, and it was on the Queen Mary. When I was a kid, that's where we went one Sunday on the Queen Mary, or it was one day we went, and they had this thing where it was one of the bolts. It was all big round bolt, and they asked me as a child, "Hey, would you want to go inside the bolt?" And I go, "Yeah." I'm a little kid. I'm thinking this is cool shit, man. Going inside the bolt, I'm just like, wow. And then I start waiting, and they start talking about all the stuff going on that they use the ship for. And you know how kids are. They're like, ah. And I seen another kid. There was one other kid. I didn't know there was another kid on this tour, and he runs away. So I go and follow him. I'm on the Queen Mary following this kid, and we get to this area where there's a pool. Now, I know how to swim. But I'm like, hey, there's this kid. He's in the pool area. No, there's no other kid. No, I seen this kid. I'm arguing with my dad. They finally take me away. Back then, the 70s, they had the pool already. It was filled with water. If they show it now, it's usually empty. They have it emptied, So I'm like, as a kid, arguing with my dad, there was a kid. Yes, he was in the sailor outfit. I'm like, describing it. It was a sailor outfit. It was like something that you would see in most kids when you go on a ship, even to this day. Usually those were the way it was patterned. I guess we would say about the 1920s. So anyway, my aunt and uncle met that way. They were a group of people from England, and they were on the Queen Mary in the same, group of us. We had come up, and that's how my aunt and uncle met. Uncle Kay and Aunt Kay. Oh my gosh, I remember. He was the first person I've seen. He can eat a whole hard shell taco with his knife and fork. We were like watching him. Oh shit, man, check that out. And he put it in a bow too. Wow, that's pretty good. Damn. Yeah, he taught me how to eat too, because that was the only way he would have me at his table. So I know how to eat proper. Yeah. That was good. Yeah, it was a mouthy little thing. So what happened was he got used to living here, and he started, he's like, actually, he's been what you call a captain of a ship, like, no, not spaceship, guys. We're talking about the ships that go in the water. They hold oil. So he actually was a ship. No, he didn't do anything with the Valdez. Okay, so yeah, he's a piano, and he's always saying bloody hell, bloody hell. Oh yeah. So anyway, he's in an American family. And Polaroid, yeah. You know what I found out? English people love to moon people. And when my uncle was driving with my dad, I'm sitting in the back seat watching him. Moons the cop on the side of the road, and I'm going, yep. Can't get any weirder. No, can't get any weirder. Hello, welcome. Please put a thumbs up. I'm talking about my family, and hoping to make you have a good evening. Forget your problems. My family's weird. Shoot, my uncle, he mooned a cop. That's right. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of my family's just right. Oh. A year later, Polaroid comes out. Well, actually, he had Polaroid. He just came out. It was like by the time he married my aunt and everything, Christmas all comes around. Oh yeah. You know what? My family, how many of your families within a family, it would be the Kowalskis. That's a very popular Polish name. And we would go against the Kowalskis with everything. Oh, we were like constantly, yeah. Who's going to do better? Yeah, we're going to do better. Oh, yeah. And that year, because of Uncle K, we did do better. Oh, we really did. Yeah. was also the year that my grandfather, he built the house. I didn't know why he didn't make the ceilings in the living room bigger. We had to put the Christmas tree outside. So we got him on the Christmas tree, and my uncle decided to use that Polaroid special. Everyone got to see Uncle K's butt. That's right. That went right in with the special Christmas cards to all my family members. We're talking everybody. Grannies, yeah, my grandma, everybody, my dad. Yeah, I wasn't living with my dad, so he opens it up. Wow. Okay. All right. And that's how we won the whole thing. It was amazing. I tell you, yeah. The Kowalskis are hard to get because they always win the Christmas tree every year. So one year, my grandfather, he went somewhere. I don't know where he went. He got in his truck. He came back and he hoofed it back in, and he goes, "Because the damn thing don't fit." And I go, "Grandpa, where'd you get that?" "Up north." "Did you get it near?" "I don't know. It was up north. That's where I got it." Okay. He never told me. He's looking at me, telling me, "You go look up north." Yeah, yeah. That was the biggest motherfucking tree I've ever seen. That thing was about taller than my ceiling. And I thought to myself, wow, that was so neat. He put it outside. It's California. Come on. When does it rain? Like never. You got the monsoon season coming now. And by the time that's done, it's the holidays. Woo! You can put your Christmas tree outside in California, Colton. So here, my grandpa put his Christmas tree out. We had it out. In California, if you have a real Christmas tree, you do not keep it out past 2 weeks. Especially if it's outside. Oh, yeah. So we ended up, of course, my grandfather would burn it. He had a little burner thing. It's before all the burn things and all that in California, mind you. So I have realized, I think it's more or less the thing of feeling when you have people that you care about and you grew up with, and some people you grew up with and you're going, God damn, you're really from the same family. I mean, don't you think that? I have a sibling. Well, I'm sure a lot of people have siblings, and there's a lot of things going on, but I can tell you this much: I hope to never talk to him. Yeah, driving with my sibling is like taking your own life and throwing it away. You go, oh God, you almost hit 3 cars. You see, my sibling was in a very bad accident. You see, he loved speed, and unfortunately, like my daddy said, there's no way he would treat me the way he did. Have my brother going with race car drivers and stuff, because you can't go on a race. You have to have, let's just put it this way. If no one says nothing and the big guy knows, and you go there and nothing bad happens and you guys all have a good time and your daughter learns, then that is a good thing. My brother cannot keep a secret to, how he is. He's a big blab blab. So, yeah. My dad said, because you keep to yourself, you're not blabbing to everybody. You're going and having a good time. Then finally I said, because I never asked for anything except whenever I want something. So of course, I wanted to learn to drive better. I wanted to be, and then I did. I passed the test. It was like family members over Christmas felt so bad. They went and bought me a whole package. My dad's like, she's fine. No, okay, all right. So yeah. How is everybody doing tonight? Thanks for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to check in. Yeah, I also put posts up. I am also on Facebook under Stefania Nagel. Yeah, the Empress of Evil has a real name. Yeah, so recently I have learned that some of my family members are not getting along. And I'm like, well, I don't really get into the family drama, so I don't know what's going on, except one thing. Two people who I haven't talked with in ages, and one I know for a fact that I did send her back something, and I stated the fact, hey, I don't know about you, but Devin's not interested in you, and he's got a girlfriend. So if you're, talking and asking about how I'm doing, that's fine. But she said, Devin's getting so much bigger. Did you want to date him? Because why are you talking to you? My ex, my brother's ex-wife contacted me, and she liked me. She was a lovely one. Oh yeah. Yeah, she had contentment in her eyes. Oh, she see me and she told me, she goes, you know, your brother told me that you did all these horrible things. What did I do? And she's saying them. I'm like, oh crap. This is weird. I didn't know that happened to you. And I started stating what Voldemort, or my brother stated to the love of his life. I called up my dad. I was like, shit, hear from the horse's mouth. So my dad told her over the phone while he's, before Voldemort realized my dad was on the phone, going, no, Steph never did that. But guess what happened to Steph? It all happened to Steph. It all happened to me. And then she got real quiet. Boy, they have the most interesting conversations, I bet. Because she was like, wow, I didn't know that. I'm like, oh. And she ended up divorcing him, and they left on not too good terms. And I don't really talk to her. It's kind of like, I don't think so. It's one of those things that she didn't like me because she was told that I was something that I wasn't. And he even took all my pain and suffering. Isn't that lovely? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will be talking to him too, like, never. Yeah, he's on a whole different world. So my uncle always made things fun, There's nothing like taking a bath and suddenly someone turns off the light and he yells, oogie boogie boogie. And that's not my dad. He would do that too. It's different when your dad does it because he turns it back on. Uncle K don't turn it back on. He closes the door because I was a kid, all right. You didn't close the door until you became an adult, which is 18. That's the rule of the house that I grew up. You didn't have a locked door till you were 18. It's just the way it goes. So that's what I grew up. I couldn't swear until I was 18. That was a big deal for me. When I turned 18, I got a swear jar. It was in April. I'm like, oh, ding dong, ding dong. Yeah, the Ding Dong Brothers came to my birthday party, and Tara and all wonderful people. And yeah, that's the way we kind of like get extra money. So if you want to go spending, you get like the swear jar. And I got my cousins to swear, and they put money in. And they go, where's your money? And I'm laughing. I turned 18 last week, April 14th, ding-a-ling. Yeah. My dad decided to take a cruise that went out of like San Diego or something like that, a cruise thing. And guess what? Yep, I stayed with my grandparents and I had a blast. Yeah. No, my dad didn't give me a choice, but I was 18. This is a cruise for 45 plus people. Come on. I'd be going there like this is like the old people's thing. 45 plus. Look at that. I mean, I'm 12. I'm looking to hang out with my cousins. So my dad can go and hang out with all his bunch of dudes and stuff and ladies and do whatever. And I was happy. I was like, woo, yeah. Hang out with my cousins and do things that I used to do when I lived in California. And then I now, at that time lived in Michigan. So yeah, it was exciting to me. Oh yeah, and you hang out with your family and you do things that you're used to. Nowadays, my grandma is no longer living, she's, and she's in my heart. Yeah, so here I am as a I would say as a young lady, I had to learn a lot. My grandmother always had mint growing. There are certain other plants that I am going to order that I'm going to have, but I learned about nutrition. And as I grew up, I also learned my grandmother had the biggest potty mouth on the face of San Bernardino that I've ever seen. She did not like driving. And suddenly, my grandmother changed. She changed into Hot Rod Helen. She can swear like you can't believe. She can blow your mind away. Ooh. Oh. She got in that driver's seat. It was ever since she got pulled over by the cop and she couldn't drive on the freeway. And oh yeah, 25 miles an hour, no matter where it was. If it could be 35, I was like, oh crap. Oh, and she would be swearing up, oh, MF, MF, to two Hispanic guys, the typical looking like they give her the finger. They gave her the finger. My grandma looks over, sweet as anything, smiles. Had a coronet, floored that baby. I about almost shit my pants. Floored it. We go to my cousins to watch them. She's like, don't you tell them what I did. And I'm like, fuck, man, no one's going to believe me. Are you kidding me? My grandma gave two Hispanic guys the finger back, not just one, but two. I'm like, damn, that's a good woman. Uh-huh. And then as we're driving back, I'm going, yeah, I know. I know why Grandpa married you, because you're spicy. And my grandma looked at me, just the look was like, what are you talking? It's like, eh. I told Grandpa he couldn't stop laughing. Really? Actually, she had to use one. She was an overachiever. Grandma's an overachiever, and I never really said anything because she would have been embarrassed and said, no, well, it was in the moment, but it was between us. It was something we can laugh at, just us knowing what we're laughing at. And that's what we used to do. When she would get in her moments, there would be stress going on, there would be stuff going on. And I was like 18 or 19. I don't remember what was going on. And I went up to her and I said, remember the double bird? And she laughed. Suddenly, I was 12 again, and she was next to me, and she was my grandma. And that was it. Those are the things that make you feel special about your family. There's always something. Mine, well, my uncle, I think that, he should, have like a card, like contest again. Who's going to have the best Christmas card? I don't know who thought of who was going to judge our contest, but for some reason that year we got the tree and the Christmas card because of Uncle K. And I want to think, that was, I bet you my dad thought that was weird because I remember him having my aunt take the pictures for him. Yeah, my grandma's like, what are you doing? Oh my God, you're not going to send that to all your aunts and cousins. Yep, we're going to send them all. Oh, and boy, did they all get them. Mm-hmm. I think that was when Aunt Sue had a liking to my uncle, and she was big boned, and my uncle was really in love with my aunt, and she would come up to him and go, "I lost weight." He'd look at her and go, "Could you raise your armpit? Thank you. Looks kind of, hollow. Yes, you have lost weight." And she would just look at him all huffy puffy and walk away. Yeah. And that's what, he would, joke about. But yeah, families are really great when you're dealing with them and when you're having them around, especially when things are getting together and you're, more. I would say they're when they got married, it took a lot of stuff. Back then, they used to put and you would like put rice in a thing and you would throw it up and the beautiful birds would eat them up and then they'd eat a whole bunch of the rice and they would explode. So, after people finding out that when you feed a bunch of birds rice, they don't cook it, they explode. So nowadays, people will do instead of rice, they do bird seed, and people just have that, which is nice. They should have done that in the 70s, but they were too busy smoking weed. Yeah, my mom was too busy having her pills. But by the time my aunt got married, uh, my mother was no longer in the picture. So that was a good thing. I was brought up by my dad and my grandma and my aunt and uncle. Well, it takes a lot of people sometimes to take care of, to raise a child. So, yeah, I I was not a bad kid. I had a mouth that was I knew how to get you good. I can say those one-liners and it just like my dad said, "You're really good. You just twist that knife, don't you?" And I go, "Yes, I do. You taught me that, Daddy." More or less if my stepmom, my ex-stepmom, she thought she was a smart person. So anyway, she would say stuff to me like, if you were nicer, I can be a better parent. Hold it. Did you say because I'm not as nice that you suck as a parent? Because that's what I was thinking. They go, so how long have you sucked as a parent? I would twist my head to the side and she'd look at me. I didn't. I go, I got a recording saying they did. And then this is before, yeah, I had those, and this wasn't even hidden. It was a big one. I walked in there and had the conversation while I was recording it. So we recorded it and I wound it back and said, "You could be a better parent if I was nicer." And she said, "Well, you should be nicer." And I go, "Well, you got to earn that. I'm civil. There's a difference." And boy, oh boy, yeah, it was something else. I'm civil. There's a difference. And that's what I said to my ex stepmother, who said I could be nicer. I wasn't mean. It's just I wasn't buddying up to her and stuff. I just don't play that way very well. Yeah. Not with her. No. It was, yeah. My dad said, yeah, that's why I was always grounded by her. Yeah, grounded again. Yep, this week I'm grounded again. What did you say? I called her a bloated warthog. I seen the movie and heard it and said, "Wow, that's exactly my stepmom. She's a bloated warthog. Holy hot damn!" So we get in an argument. She goes, "So what are you going to call me?" And I go, "I'm going to call you a bloated warthog." She looked at me. Oh, really? Yeah, big bloated warthog. Yeah. So my dad gets home. This time he was watching the kids in the evening, and I knew I wasn't going to be in trouble. My dad sits down. So what did you call her? A big bloated warthog. Well, she is. And we started laughing, and he had brought donuts. Yeah, she went to work, and I just walked down, and my dad and her weren't getting along. So big bloated warthog. I know. I know. I should have just said you have an eating disorder that needs to be looked at by a therapist, but it was in 1982. I don't think that she would have gone to a therapist if my dad drove her, made her go and sit down with her. It is what it is. That's how it went. So the only reason why we went to therapy a lot is because my uncle was a licensed therapist. He worked for the state of California, and he was a good man. He may have been a wonderful therapist, but his home and private life were just something of a different color. Trust me. It's a whole different picture that just blew me away. Anyhow, yeah. And people who I'm going to just state this out. We all love our family members, and we all think they're wonderful. No one is perfect. And as for me, I don't talk to any guys. The only guy I am thinking about is Morningstar. That's it. I'm not looking to have a fucking harem. I don't want to have a harem of men. I want one. I don't want my man to have a harem of women. I should be enough. So, hey, have you been? Yeah, my cat's got the burps. My cat's burping again. I tell you, I don't know what to do with him. So, yeah, here it is, I'm thinking to myself, wow, boy, do I look like. I'm like, realizing being lazy can make you look like an asshole. Like how if you're on dictation on your phone and it dictates and you meant to say you go ja or you meant Johnny and you delete the Johnny part and you leave a certain part and you're like, ah, Jesus, I forgot to do that. And it's better off to just text it out instead of dictating it and getting it right the first time, reading it through and then sending it out, sometimes reading it through twice. I enjoy all the times that I've had with my family, and I feel grateful that I did grow up learning about meditation before it became very popular. I used to go to a karate studio before it got any popular. By the time they had the kung fu movies going out, I was living at one. Shit. And my dad and we went, I remember. He goes, let's go to your old karate studio. Oh, good times. Do, 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 do. We're all excited. My grandma comes. We all pile in and we notice. I go, there's a fucking lot of roaches around here. And it was kind of dark. Don't go to a place that has, smorgasbord that has the lights down low. Let me tell you, I got really sick. I had the sweet and sour pork. Woo wee! I haven't thrown up like that. I was working at McDonald's in San Bernardino. Boy, they carted my ass outside faster than the garbage. Like you could not believe. It was like, get that girl out. Yeah. I went home. I was sick for 3 days. They end up closing that restaurant down. It wasn't rats, it was roaches and rat feces. Oh, yeah. They said the possibility of what I ate had rat feces. Yay, me. Yeah. So my dad felt bad because the place that I used to go to no longer was in use. It was, it looked like you can just open it up, clean the thing, and it'd be, if you had your students coming in, like it was ready, a dojo ready to go. My dad's like, man, I remember you being in here. That was their babysitter thing. They couldn't find a babysitter for the Empress of Evil. So, hey, let's go and drop her off at a kung fu place. Yeah. I'm good at kickboxing. I broke three, was it two of my toes on my right foot, and they're crooked. That's the only thing I have wrong with my foot. They're slightly crooked because I was showing off of what not to do. See, you don't do this, you'll break your toes. Yeah, that's showing them. Empress of Evil. Whoa, oh, yeah, that's showing them. Of course, I didn't tell them. Oops, I broke my toe. Oh, it's just a little flesh wound. I limped around for a day, and my grandma said, "What did you do?" Oh gosh. So I didn't have to go for a couple days, and people were worried. And then, of course, I started going back again. I went there from the time I think that long. It was in it was until my parents, it was like I was 6 and my grandma started taking me after my parents split and all kinds of stuff went around. Yeah. And yeah, my grandma looked adorable. Yeah, she's got Chinese in her. I got Chinese in me, so I fit in fine along with my brethren. So yeah, I have Chinese in me. Yeah, that's why my dad liked to go to the Wall of China. Yeah, we go to the Wall of China. He says, and there is large portions of the wall that is not redone because they're still working on it. There's like it's a long wall, and he there's ways to get to it. So my dad found a way to get to the unfixed portions of these walls. They're very dangerous to go to. And my dad, there's this one guy that was like guiding him, and he said in the wall that was walled up, there was a secret passage. So everybody was going there. My dad's like, "Ooh, let me go." So my dad went, and he's seen this and he's like, wow, it was really beautiful. It's like at nighttime you'd go in and see it, and the moonlight, if it was full, would come and, do this dance. I think they have it even on Travel Channel. And my dad said he had seen it before it became popular. But yeah, he really liked, going there, but he got really sick. Every time he went to the wall of the Chinese wall, he'd get so sick. I have a ashtray that he got for me. Oh, you smoke. Back then I smoked manuals. And yeah, my dad, let me tell you about my dad and Christmas. My dad always loved Christmas. His nickname was the Cookie Monster when I was a little kid because he would joke and eat cookies, and he was the fun dad, even though he ended up raising me and my brother and doing the best he could. And of course, in between, he would have relationships that didn't work out. Jane was one of them, the bloated warthog. Oh, yeah, I could be a better mother if you can be a better daughter. So their whole thing came to an end. And like I said, I informed my dad. I helped them pack. They left and forgot the Christmas tree. Oh, I didn't want them to forget that fucking thing. I thought the thing was ugly. My dad thought it was funny because it was up in the attic. I tried to remember everything, but so Christmas came around, and my dad decided he was going to bring down that whole Christmas tree himself, and it was only this tall. and decorate it with beer cans. My friends' fathers thought my dad was the coolest one on the block. I come home and my friends' dads were there helping. There was no tree left. There was all beer cans. Dudes. Then my dad decided to take his underwear that he got for Christmas and put it on the Christmas tree too. Oh Lord. Couldn't we be normal for one season? Just one. No? Oh, okay. I get it. All right. Yeah. To top it off, my dad said it wasn't done yet and he overcooked some spaghetti and that went on the tree too. And it discolored and took the coloring from the sickling green it had, convalescent green, to white. I'm like, huh, that's funny. So then my dad said, I know how to cover our tracks. Why? We're going to put it outside. It's going to snow. They're going to pick it up. They'll blame themselves. And there you go. And that's exactly what happened. My dad said, I'm putting it outside. They said they're going to pick it up that day. It snowed. They got the snow in there. They called my dad. And my dad said, I left a message. And that's where it was. And they couldn't do nothing because of the fact that they messaged each other on their machines. And if they wanted to go to court, they would, let me hear your machine. It's Judge Wapner. Dun, dun, dun. It's the People's Court. I love the People's Court. I'd watch it. Judge Wapner. Dun, dun, dun. So I thought to myself, when I ever get messages from people I haven't talked to in 5 years, I'm very skeptical what they and why they would want to contact me. And like my dad said to my sister, you had 3 children and I didn't get an invite to any of their parties. The oldest being almost 8 at that time. Yeah. 8 years, she comes out of the woodwork expecting. I looked at my little sister and said, yeah, gold digger. No, you're not going to get nothing. She didn't. My dad's like, I gave appropriate type gifts that you give to someone you haven't seen at all for 8 years. A daughter that didn't even tell my dad that she had a child. Not just 1, but 3. Let's just make it right. My dad was like, I don't think so. They got appropriate gifts, but not very expensive. Like, he said it was like their age, 8 years old gets a certain gift, Barbie thing, and then another gift, it's not going to be phones. She goes, I want a man when they all need phones. Smartphones are not fucking babysitters, okay? It's not like it's like a I'm the smartphone. You can't do that or I'll zap you. Zap, okay, see? All right, you're being bad. No. You don't give a 4-year-old a fucking phone. My dad was floored. I said, well, Dad, they didn't have phones when I was that age. How old would I have been to have a cell phone? My dad looked at me. He said, you would have been at least 16. I'd have given you a choice. You want a cell phone or a car? I said, really, Dad? I'll buy my own cell phone. Fuck that. I'll have the car. That's like saying, oh, I'll give you the car, but you can have these cell phones are just computers. Really? That's all they are. They're just computers. So I'm like, yeah, I'll have the car. My sister picked the cell phone. I used to be real mean to my brother because I was the firstborn. I'm the firstborn. I took everything. Yeah, he got nothing. Nothing. I took everything. My dad would say, oh, come on, Steph, quit being so hard on him. And then he would bring up something that was funny that he got in trouble with. Good job, Dad. Okay, yeah, he actually had his girlfriend doing his homework for a long time. My dad had a decent pay. Let's just put it this way. My dad could have had my brother helped. He didn't know how to read. And he wasn't like reading backwards or anything. It wasn't like he had a problem. He his girlfriend was doing all his homework in first grade. I was floored. Yeah. I mean, you hear about your girlfriend doing your homework, but I never thought that my brother would have a plan like that. I was blown away. I was like, damn, okay. Now he's the brother that had some girl do his homework. Fuck. I was getting ready to go to middle school. Actually, I was going to Hollyell and into Patterson. I was happy to be separated from my brother. They thought it would be better that he can go and walk and go into Holly. And I was going to be over into Patterson. And that's where I went. It's my last year of school. And then I went over into Sherman Middle School. That was fun times. Oh, yeah. Dodgeball. If you couldn't run, you got hit. If you got hit, yeah. I was a runner. Oh, yeah. My grandma go, you run pretty fast. You ever play dodgeball, Grandma? No. You're gonna see us play today, aren't you? She goes, yeah. We would train and stuff inside. It was winter time. That's how we dealt with it. It'd be winter time and we would train. So I went to that school because it had better utility. How can I say this? The teachers there were good for helping kids learn if they needed to read and stuff. And when I first came to Michigan, they didn't know what, I could do and all that. So when they put me in Patterson, I excelled and did pretty good. They were figured out that, wow, I was doing a lot of last year's work. I was, let's just put it this way. I, I, um, I had a good time in school and showed my teachers throughout the years that I enjoyed learning and I had fun. I made money from selling in high school the leaf collection. At the end of the year, they usually throw it away. I keep them, redo the whole leaf thing, everything, make it all super nice, exactly how the teachers wanted it. In fact, one of the teachers kept one of the perfect ones to show people this is how it should look. And he knew, a lot of the teachers knew that students were buying some of them. I had one where, it just, you put it together and it was like just I guess it would be like where you can like slide the stuff in. Yeah, I did that too, where you was like you're self-to-doer, You want to do your leaf collection, do it the way the teachers like. It itches sometimes. So yeah, I enjoyed school. I did. And I enjoyed going every year. I went to California and I hung out with my other family, my grandma and grandpa, all the family that was on on the West Coast, you know, hung out with my cousins. We stayed once in a while. Hey, let's go over to Huntington Beach. There's stuff going on there. We'll go down to Huntington and hang out. I miss those days. I miss hanging out with my cousins, Dean, Don, and he would have like their dates, and I'd bring someone. I was dating a guy over at the arcade. Brought him. It was great. We had a great fun time. I cannot complain about my childhood at all. I guess you can say that, I wasn't spoiled. I did learn a lot. And my dad said he's not going to bring a spoiled princess in the world. I had to know my place. I had to know. So, yeah. Thirsty. We're almost done with an hour. I didn't write that much today. I've been reading, so please understand that. And I was up until almost, it was late. I think it was past 4 a.m. I've been thinking about somebody, and they've been running through my mind. Morningstar, and I'm just he's been running in my mind in naughty ways. Oh yes, it's been a while for me, so please understand. But I haven't been with anybody. I don't talk with anybody. I don't do any of that at all. When I say I am not, the only person, and it's to talk like business wise, because I would like to start a virtual shop for, magical stuff. And I would like to know, no, Etsy doesn't really like that, but I'm thinking of making magic wands and selling it as, something else. So I'm going to have to start on here on Etsy and see what I can do, because that's the only thing I can come up with. So, yeah. So you get the magic wand with your, whatever, with the reading or whatever I'm thinking of how to sell that. So, yeah. Just, thinking out of the box to make some extra money. And I know that I have some extra, how can I say, like shards of stuff. Like, like these, but smaller, I also have like, these, but I got crystals and stuff. So I'm thinking, well, I don't think they look good at the end of the thing. So I got this, but smaller ones. They're real small and they could fit at the end of a thing. And I want to make a bunch of magic wands. So that's what I'm going to do. Figure out if I can make so many ones and what they could be for. So, yeah. So I hope that this show has been pretty good. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm going to end this stream. Thank you so much.